This is ABC7 News at 5. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, I'm Haley Wilgus.
And I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks for being with us tonight. Our top story, the latest on the tropics.
We're closely watching Tropical Depression 9, which is churning in the Gulf of Mexico. ABC7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan is joining us now with the latest on how this might affect the Suncoast. And Bob, you were just listening to an update.
That's right. The National Hurricane Center, a little delayed in issuing this 5 o'clock advisory, just came out 20 seconds ago, and it is still a tropical depression, as you mentioned. However, there are now some hurricane watches that are in effect for parts of Florida. We'll show you those in just a little bit. But now the system was really quite impressive this morning, but that area of storminess kind of faded away, and a new area is starting to develop and closer to the center, which means the system may be trying to get itself organized a little bit better, but it's had a hard time doing so due to the dry air to the west of it and also still some minor shear that's been going on with it. So the latest advisory now still keeps it at 35-mile-an-hour winds. It's moving to the northwest at 5, and the pressure is still at 1,004 millibars. There's the forecast. It's shifted now. You'll notice to the west. And now it moves away from Tampa Bay area. In fact, that cone of uncertainty has shifted well up toward the panhandle of Florida now. A lot of the models are agreeing with that, making landfall sometime midday on Thursday. We can expect a good deal of rain despite the shift. I mentioned the hurricane watch. It's now in effect. You can see much of the Big Bend area stretching all the way over to near Apalachicola, then southward to just north of Pinellas and Hillsborough County. That is a hurricane watch that's in effect, and also a tropical storm watch in effect across the entire region. Now, I'm fairly certain that this is a watch. It just came in, so this map just populated. But again, we are not included in that tropical storm watch, or for that matter, a hurricane watch at this point. We'll keep an eye on it for you. We'll have much more information as the National Hurricane Center kind of issues that for us. But as far as we're concerned, we are not under that watch or warning at this point, and it doesn't appear that we will be as long as the system does not gain a lot of strength over the upcoming 24 to 48 hours. This is the possibility of tropical storm force winds for our area, and this is Thursday morning. You start to see that increase for west central Florida. That puts us at about a 40% chance of getting some tropical storm force winds here on Thursday morning. And into Friday, more than likely the strongest winds will be well to the north and east of us by Friday in the just after sunrise. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. But right now, as present, it just came in, no watch for us at this point. However, the rainfall will continue to be rather intense. In fact, it already is across parts of the Suncoast, and more rain is on the way. We could see an additional possibly up to 7 to 10 inches in isolated areas, but most everyone will get at least 5 inches of rainfall. And you can see all that moisture moving in our general direction. Well, much more in our forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. Both Manatee and Sarasota counties are planning ahead of the storm. Sandbags are being handed out today and tomorrow at several locations across the area to help residents protect their homes from potential flooding. ABC7's Dwayne Lindo joins us now live with details on these distributions. Dwayne?
I'm here at the Newtown location, 3 locations in Sarasota County. Manatee County has 5 locations. Now, with a 10-bag limit, residents in both counties looking to be proactive in trying to protect their homes from being flooded.
So I'm just preparing for the worst and hoping for the best.
Manatee County residents hoping sandbags can hold off flooding.
I'm afraid my lanai area is going to flood, and I just don't want it to come into my back doors.
I put them all around the back lanai, the back porch.
According to Manatee County Public Works Division Manager Danny Smith, these sandbags placed strategically around your home can only prevent minor flooding.
If we have a large storm surge or unprecedented rain, if you have a backed up drainage system and water is rising rapidly and way beyond what the normal water levels even in a storm event are, the sandbags are not going to prevent water from coming in anywhere.
He says the bags not only can be used to prevent minor flooding, but alter the direction.
Can divert that flow to a water conveyance system such as a ditch or a swale in your yard.
In Sarasota County, they're not only providing bags to those who need them, but they're taking other precautions as well.
Teams are out checking out all the pumps and generators and all the lift stations and making sure that they're ready to go. We also have a number of critical areas that we watch for potential flooding.
Sean Osborne used sandbags while serving in the military to shore up levees. He's now using the bags for his own home to try and limit flooding damage.
Sandbags in the past, what I've seen, what they've done, have saved many homes. It's good to have at least about 2 layers of the sandbags around your door areas where you can possibly open them if you need to.
Now, bags will be distributed until 6 at this location. You can find a list of times and locations by going to our website at mysuncoast.com. Reporting in Sarasota, Dwayne Lindo, your Suncoast News.
All right, Dwayne, thank you. Florida Power & Light is taking precautions in case the severe weather causes power outages. The company has activated its emergency response plan, and crews are on standby. Throughout the year, crews clear tree limbs and branches from power lines and inspect power poles. FPL says it has invested more than $2 billion since 2006 to build a stronger energy grid, which also allows them to restore power faster when there's an outage.
Now to our other big story today, the primary election. Florida voters are going to the polls today to select the nominees for U.S. Senate, decide whether to amend the state constitution to give a property tax break to promote solar energy, and have a say in who should represent them in the U.S. House. Residents are also making decisions on a host of local races, including school board and county and city positions. Sarasota and Manatee County elections officials say voter turnout has surpassed previous primary elections.
We mailed out about 60,000, a little over 60,000 vote-by-mail ballots. We've got about 50% of those, close to 60% of those back, so that'll kind of drive the turnout. In general, right now, we're at about a 23% turnout if you combine everything.
It's extremely important. I think the way that we vote in local elections has an effect, especially in our own communities.
You still have time to vote. Polls close at 7 o'clock in both Manatee and Sarasota counties.
The two vice presidential candidates are focusing on Florida this week. Republican VP candidate Mike Pence is scheduled to hold a town hall at the Hyatt Regency in Sarasota tomorrow afternoon to garner support for his running mate Donald Trump. The doors will open at 1 and the event starts at 4. Meanwhile, Democratic VP candidate Tim Kaine is stumping for Hillary Clinton in the Sunshine State. He'll make stops in Pensacola, Panama City, and Jacksonville this Thursday and Friday, weather permitting. The Virginia senator campaigned last week in Tallahassee and in South Florida. And be sure to stay with ABC7 both on air and online for full election coverage. Primary election coverage. The results come in tonight. Just go to mysuncoast.com/elections for up-to-the-minute results after the polls close at 7. We'll bring you the results of the key state and local races on the ballot from reaction from the candidates as well. That's all tonight in our 11 o'clock newscast.
And new details tonight on the medical marijuana dispensary planned for Bradenton. The Tallahassee company True Leave closed on the property this week. It's on 14th Street West near Manatee Memorial Hospital. The company is still working with the city of Bradenton on the permitting process, and an opening date has not been set yet. True Leave's CEO says that they're looking for locations close to medical facilities to be more convenient for customers. When this Bradenton location opens, it will be True Leave's 5th dispensary in Florida.
ABC7 business commentator Richard Stern joins us now on news of a quiet and a down day on Wall Street. Richard?
Scott, you got it exactly right, and indeed the volume's been low for some time now, but talk about quiet as far as market movement. The biggest move we saw all day was a drop of 1/4%. As we say, no big deal. No big deal at all. There you see the closing numbers, the big drop of the day, and I say that in jest, down 48.69, 1/4%. The Dow closing at 18,454.30 on volume of 611 million shares. The NASDAQ also down less than 0.2%, just over 9 points, closing at 5,222.99. That on volume of 1,446 million shares. And the trifecta, the S&P down, but just 0.2%, 4.25 points at 2,176.12. Well, there's a retailer you're probably familiar with by the name of Abercrombie & Fitch. They've only been in business since 1892, but the way business is going, they may not be open through the end of the year. Abercrombie & Fitch, their stock today was down by more than 20% in one day. 20%. They announced not only disappointing sales, but a 14th consecutive quarter in which sales have declined. That's 3.5 years of sales decline. So you can put a little lipstick on that pig if you want, but the bottom line is when my kids were teenagers, Abercrombie & Fitch was all the rage. I'm afraid they're not teenagers anymore, and Abercrombie & Fitch is not the company it once was.
Definitely was the rage around this. I think I was a teenager around the same time as your kids, Richard, and we sure do remember that.
Yes,
well, what
we do.
about a really good job that pays $9 an hour?
And you didn't think there was such a thing. Well, there is. You can be a ball boy or a ball girl at the United States Open Tennis Tournament in New York. You get to be on the court, and they'll pay you $9 an order, and you get a free outfit from Ralph Lauren. I think that's pretty darn good.
Sounds good to me, and you get to see all those wonderful matches. So
absolutely.
Chasing the
bonus.
balls around. Yeah,
Right.
that's what they do.
And exercise.
It is. Thank you, Richard.
You're welcome.
Still to come in your Suncoast News, an alarming report on smoking, the group of people who could elevate their risk for heart disease by lighting up.
And ABC7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your full weather forecast and an update on the tropics. Plus, an Olympic coach takes a job on the Suncoast. The woman who trained Simone Biles for years will now share her expertise in Sarasota.
What does it mean when New South Window says Factory Direct?
It means we have a factory.
It means we eliminate the middleman.
It means you get an award-winning, energy-efficient window at factory direct pricing.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell. Replacing your windows will not just beautify your home, but save you big bucks on your energy bills. I've done the research. I've seen the factory. New South Window is my hands-down choice.
New South Window. We manufacture, we install, we guarantee. Call now.
At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, we make sure you get the most for your money. More years, more miles, and when you're ready to sell, you'll get more money back. Come fall in love with the longest-lasting vehicle in its class, the Subaru Outback. Or lease a new 2017 Subaru Forester for just $209 a month. Or get 0% financing right now during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
You only have one life. Are you gambling with it? 1 in 3 adults have high blood pressure. Not knowing your numbers could cause you to lose, big time. Luckily, you can turn the odds in your favor by getting your blood pressure checked today. Don't leave your health to chance. Learn more at heart.org/HPB.
They care. They take the time to understand you, take the time to understand your case.
There's no better satisfaction to me than to see a client who is happy because of the job we've done for them.
It's really actually very comforting to know that there's someone that you've heard of and you're getting recommendations about that you can turn to when you have a problem.
I felt like I had a partner in this, and he was going to be by my side.
Hi, I'm Dylan Radigan. The world is brimming with possibilities. And that keeps me busy. My latest invention may be able to feed and sustain communities around the world. My team and I are always on the go, meeting new people and seeing new places. I produce films that I really care about. It's an honor to speak to audiences around the world. When people come together, meaningful work gets done. How do I do all this? Well, that part's easy. Hotelplanner.com.
Just days after the Olympic Games ended in Rio, an Olympic coach accepted a position here on the Suncoast, and she's here to stay.
This is pretty exciting. Amy Borman coached the USA women's gymnastics team. She is now joining EVO Athletics in Sarasota. ABC7's Kate Flexter met with the coach today. And Kate, what did you find out about this whole situation?
Well, thanks, Haley and Scott. Borman says she barely unpacked her bags from Rio before moving to the Suncoast to start a new chapter in her coaching career.
She's the girl everyone was talking about at the Rio Olympics, gymnastics gold medalist Simone Biles. But right there by her side for every win was Coach Amy Borman, and she's been by her side for years.
Now she's a young woman, and when I started coaching her when she was 8 years old, she was just this little bouncy kid.
Borman says from a young age, it was clear that Biles had something special.
She would get out to do her floor routine, and everything in the competition would stop to watch her, you know, even when she was 9 and 10 years old. So she has a spark about her.
But now the two have parted ways as Biles takes a break from gymnastics and enjoys the fame, presenting an award at the VMAs and even snagging a selfie with Kim Kardashian.
She's really, really busy. I wouldn't have seen her anyway, but overall, I'm going to miss her dearly, miss seeing her every day because we've been together almost every day of her life since she was 11.
But she's not the only one starting a new chapter. Borman is joining Sarasota's EVO Athletics as the executive director of women's gymnastics. For the gym owners, it's exciting.
It's a buzz, and we just can't wait to work with her too. You know, it's going to be a lot of fun.
And for young athletes, it's inspiring.
She's like one of the best coaches ever, and it's like nice to have her like helping us coach and giving us like what she's helped Simone do.
For Borman, it's an opportunity to get to know the athletes. She brings a unique approach to the job, tailor-making her coaching style for each athlete.
And gymnastics is just something they do. It's not who they are. So I want to know them for who they are, and then I can train them to be great gymnasts.
Now, we did ask Borman if she might be back on the Olympic floor coaching Biles in the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. She said they haven't gotten that far in the discussion yet, but didn't rule out the possibility. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Kate. I'm sure if both of them want to make that work, they will make it work.
Yeah.
And we'll welcome Simone to Sarasota. If she wants
right.
to come train here.
That's
Why
the first
not,
thing my
right?
daughter said to me this morning. I kind of emailed the fact that she was coming here.
Right,
She goes,
right.
Is Simone going to be? When is Simone going to be? She's all excited about that. We'll see how that plays out. We're seeing how the system plays out
Right.
too. You know, I'm getting a chance to digest what a lot the Hurricane Center is looking at, and the trough of low pressure, which was supposed to push this more to the northeast, is not going to be as strong, and that means that it's going to move further north, possibly toward the Panhandle. But also, it means that there may be less shear, so this could become a hurricane. And we're actually not focusing so much on that center area because it's going to be a lot to the east and south of the center, and we're still going to be in the middle of that. So KCK webcam showing today lots of clouds around this afternoon anyway, with some showers occasionally, but the rain has been heavy down south in South Sarasota County now, moving up through Venice and Northport, and you can see those clouds are on the increase, and they're starting to darken up a bit. We'll go to the radar picture and show you the activity. Boy, it's been very heavy down in the southeastern portion of the state today. That's where the bulk of the precipitation has been, and now into Fort Myers and also down into Marco Island, some showers there. I mentioned the Charlotte Harbor area. That's where the heaviest rain is now moving in, and it's going to be kind of training in that direction. You notice the motion from the south to the north, and that rainfall forecast estimate still there, anywhere from looks like 4 to 8 inches of rain and possibly as much as 10 in some isolated areas can be anticipated over the next 3 days as we continue to see these convergence bands set up and move on shore. I think a little bit more action tomorrow night and on Thursday. But right now that rain pretty moderate to heavy in Englewood near Northport, spreading off into Venice, and I pull it out a little bit further and you can see still lots more showers developing down to our south and even on the east coast of Florida. All this will kind of pinwheel into that area of low pressure. So far the rainfall totals have not been all that impressive right now, but that'll be changing through the next couple of hours as that line moves northward. Tropical depression number 9 having a hard time establishing tropical storm status at this point. We talked about it at the top of the newscast. Winds remain at 35 miles an hour. It's moving to the northwest at 5, expected to move more northerly, and then eventually off toward the northeast, and not so much east-northeast where it had been for the past couple of days now, projecting that path. So the cone of uncertainty has now shifted all the way up into the Panhandle. But again, don't focus on that center line. There's going to be a lot of action even east of the cone. The cone is just where the center is expected to be. It doesn't mean where the nasty weather is going to be. Even though we're not in that cone, we're still going to see some heavy showers, thunderstorms, and the potential for tropical storm force winds, as well as the isolated tornadoes are always in the mix when these systems start to make landfall. And we'll see that on through Thursday. It looks like for this particular model, landfall will be sometime around Tuesday, or I should say Thursday afternoon to Thursday evening now as it moves to the northeast. So that trough isn't expected to be as strong, it looks like now, and that means it may have a chance to generate into a hurricane prior to landfall. Tropical storm watch in effect where you see the yellow area right there, and then a hurricane watch is in effect, just on the safe side in case this does become a hurricane. They have to have at least some adequate warning time to get folks out of harm's way if indeed it does become a hurricane, and the models are starting to suggest that it will become that in the next 24 to 48 hours. Well, the satellite enhancement showing some big storms around earlier today faded away, as it has been doing over the past 5 days for that matter. But now another explosion of storms, what appears to be near the center right there, as it pushes off very slowly to the northwest. And as far as the probability of winds, tropical storm force I mentioned, they're at about 40% right now for the Suncoast. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. That would happen probably late Wednesday night, but more so Thursday morning now, as things are starting to get pushed back on that front. And the rainfall forecast, as I alluded to earlier, could see up to 48 inches, with maybe some areas getting as much as 10 in isolated areas. And that will indeed cause a lot of flooding problems and concerns. Windy weather Thursday and even into Friday morning. Breezy on Saturday. The rain chances, you got it, staying high all the way through. Scott?
Okay, Bob, thank you. Now to Suncoast Traffic Watch. No crashes in the area, but we're seeing some traffic backed up on US 41 in Sarasota. This is about from Bee Ridge Road north to Fruitville Road. Slow going in that area as people head home from work. Haley?
Thank you, Scott. In health news tonight, for organ transplant recipients, smoking is even more dangerous than for the rest of the population. That's according to a study in the journal Transplantation. More than 10% of recipients resume smoking after their operation. These smokers have more than 2.5 times the risk of non-skin cancers compared to transplant recipients who don't smoke, plus elevated risks of new heart disease as well as death. Those who smoke after a transplant were 40% more likely than others to develop new heart disease. Further proof that family history plays a big part in our health. In a new study, the older a participant's parents were at the time of their death, the longer the person lived. This was true even of all the things that were taken into account: age, sex, ethnicity, smoking, alcohol use, physical activity, and body mass index. Researchers also found children of longer-lived parents were less likely to have strokes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and atrial fibrillation, plus some other forms of heart disease. The study was published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology. So blame or thank your parents. Coming up, a news photographer on the way to a story stumbles upon a fiery accident, how he was able to save a pregnant woman from a burning car. Plus, a record catch in Mississippi. A team of 6 works together to trap a monster gator.
Stand out in your new wild Lexus. Now is your golden opportunity to lease a new 2016 Lexus ES350 for only $329, or enjoy 0.9% APR, just $329, exclusively at Wild Lexus of Sarasota on Clark Road.
Hurricane season is here, so when severe weather threatens, count on the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC7.
We bring you storm warnings faster and with more detail than ever before.
And track storms right down to your neighborhood.
On air, online, and on your mobile device. Turn to the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC7. We're here for you.
A message from the Pulaski Law Firm. You started there right out of high school, learned your trade and did it well. And the asbestos you handled, well, that was just part of the job. If you worked in the trades and were diagnosed with mesothelioma, get the best care available. Then call us. You may be entitled to financial compensation without ever going to court.
Call 800-236-4994.
And see how we can help. Mesothelioma. Don't fight it alone.
Temperatures on the Sun Coast are rising and the deals are hotter than ever during the summer clearance event at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. You'll feel cooler than ever when you drive away in a new Jeep Cherokee for as little as $19,999, or take home a stylish new Jeep Renegade for just $17,999. How about a new 2016 Jeep Patriot for just $14,999? Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
This is important news for women diagnosed with ovarian cancer. Talcum powder may have caused your ovarian cancer. According to many studies, long-term use of talcum powder in products such as baby powder or shower-to-shower for feminine hygiene is linked directly to ovarian cancer. If you are an ovarian cancer victim, or if a loved one died from ovarian cancer after using talcum powder, call the law offices of Davis & Crump at the number below right now to find out if you are eligible for a cash award and medical expenses. Call now.
Welcome back, 2 of my favorite guests, Cash 3 and Play 4.
Surprise! We're Pick 3 and Pick 4 now.
Whoa!
But we still play exactly the same. We just got a fresh new look.
Speaking of surprises, I have one for you. Say hello to Pick 2 and Pick 5!
Introducing the complete Pick family of games.
We're family now.
The new Pick 2 and Pick 5 have joined Pick 3 and Pick 4 to give you more choices in your daily gameplay. The Florida Lottery. Just imagine.
Stand out in your new wild Lexus. Now is your golden opportunity to lease the bold new 2016 Lexus RX 350 for only $419, or enjoy 1.9% APR, just $419, exclusively at Wild Lexus of Sarasota on Clark Road.
A TV news photographer and other Good Samaritans helped rescue a pregnant woman from a burning car. The 21-year-old woman, who is 7 months pregnant, was driving on a highway in Denham Springs, Louisiana, when she lost control. She ran off the road, crashed into some trees. After the crash, the sports car she was driving burst into flames. So a photographer for the station WBRZ and a reporter were following behind on their way to another news story. The photographer pulled over, immediately ran to the burning car. He was able to pull the woman from the passenger side of the car as the flames burned at arm's reach away.
I just ran over there because, you know, there's somebody in the car and the car is on fire. We got to get them out of there.
Others who stopped called 911 and the group stayed with the woman until paramedics arrived. The woman was taken to the hospital. Glad to report she's in stable condition and her baby is okay. City officials in Long Beach, New York are trying to figure out why multiple balconies at an apartment building came crashing down. 6 balconies in all collapsed just before 8 o'clock this morning at the multi-story building. Fortunately, no one was hurt. Firefighters say it appears the middle balcony may have given way, and then the top one came down too. The building is currently under construction. A company set up scaffolding a few days ago to repair decaying bricks, and that caused everything to fall.
An area in Manhattan is dealing with a flooded mess, as you can see here, because of a water main pipe break. We remember that from Bee Ridge Road last week. Well, the pipe break flooded a street and some sidewalks last night. The flooding also opened up a sinkhole, which partially swallowed, as you just saw in the video, a BMW SUV. It took crews about an hour and a half to shut off the water. Firefighters checked basements in the area and found some filled with up to 6 feet of water. No one was hurt, but there's no word on what caused the pipe to rupture. A record-breaking catch in Mississippi on Saturday. Tiffany Winky and 5 other people hooked and killed a monster alligator. The Mississippi Department of Wildlife, Fisheries and Parks says this gator measured more than 13 feet 7 inches, beating the last world record holder by 1/8 of an inch to become the longest gator caught in public waters. The gator was caught at Bayou Pierre in Claiborne County. Winky sold the alligator. It will be processed for its meat and skin. That's a lot of cowboy boots right there. That's
a lot of meat, too.
A lot of meat, too. Still to come on your Suncoast News, homeowners literally on edge.
Some residents on Minnesota Key are trying to secure their waterfront homes from possible severe storms.
Are you one of the many Americans who undergo CPAP or BiPAP therapy? How often are you replacing your masks and hoses? Replacing your CPAP or BiPAP supplies every 3 to 6 months is critical to an effective therapy. Bacteria will build up, making you sick, and worn-out straps cause leaks and are just plain uncomfortable. Let Allied Medical Supply Network help. Call Allied Medical to speak to an expert agent that will determine which supplies you need and will set up a schedule for your fresh, brand-name supplies to be delivered right to your door, right when you need them. Shipping's absolutely free, and you may qualify to receive supplies at little or no cost to you. That's right, there's no driving around town or remembering when to order. Call Allied Medical Supply Network today and rest easy.
Call 800-601-0658. That's 800-601-0658.
They say good things come to those that wait. Well, you've waited long enough. You deserve to feel fabulous in your fashionable new Fiat 500X from Alfa Romeo Fiat in Sarasota. Boldly innovative, seductively stylish. Fiat gives you everything you'd expect from a capable utility vehicle, like a spacious interior and advanced safety systems, designed and built like a sexy little sportster. Don't wait any longer. You deserve to feel fabulous. Get a new Fiat at Alfa Romeo Fiat of Sarasota.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G-Freed has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G-Freed Flooring America. G-Freed Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.